Several years ago, I made a video showing how I was using an SanKeys controller inside of vMix Replay. At that time, there weren't any real purpose-built controllers for vMix Replay, and little did I know that just a few years later, several manufacturers were going to just come out with all kinds of different replay controllers, specifically geared towards vMix Replay. It's awesome, it's great. It gives us now an opportunity to have a much larger selection of controller for our specific needs. So today, I'm going to try to answer the question of which replay controller should I use for my vMix production? This is a question I get all the time. And unfortunately, I am not going to answer that. I am going to tell you the features and the pluses and minuses of each one of these controllers and let you decide which one fits your production the best. How we're going to conduct this test is I'm going to use the stock shortcut files that each manufacturer provides. Meaning when you purchase a controller, you should receive a vMix shortcut preset that you can load into vMix and start using the controller right away. As we'll see, some of these controllers need some tweaking. Some of them are great right out of the box. So let's dig in and find out which one is going to fit your needs the best. All right, first up we have the Shuttle Pro. This guy clocks in at about $100. It is made of a space age polymer material known as, it's plastic. There's nothing crazy about it. It's pretty thin. It's got a Men in Black aesthetic. These things have been around for quite a while. I used to use one in an old SD studio to control a teleprompter, but vMix sees all of these buttons as MIDI commands. It has little lenses, so you can customize the labels on these top buttons. So you can cut out a piece of paper and put it underneath there. These buttons obviously are not customizable. There's no lights on this controller. There's really no logic, no shifting kind of functions to speak of. The ring on the outside is spring-loaded, so it snaps back in place. And then the inner dial does have some nice clicks to it. You could use kind of frame by frame. So this has a stock template built into vMix. So let's take a look at how it functions. All right, going over into vMix, we're going to go to our settings, our shortcuts, and we're going to go to templates. And right off the bat, you can see we have this Replay Shuttle Pro all laid out for us. So we have some camera controls at the top, a play out button, a play pause button, mark in and out, scroll for speed. There is a 25, 50, and 100% speed button there. I don't know what end is. There's a green thing that says end right there. I'm not sure what that is. End, replay, stop events. Okay, that's kind of neat. We're gonna hit apply. It's gonna replace what we got in there. We're gonna click OK, and let's jump over into the replay and let's check it out. So right off the bat, we have no way to get out of live. So if we were gonna mark an event, we couldn't do it. We'd have to be out of the live. So I'm gonna hit out of live, and then I'm gonna hit the go to now, which takes me there. Right off the bat, I want to grab this to go back in time, but that is not what that does. You can see it's moving the speed. So it's moving the speed of the replay clip. So I'd have to use this in the middle. That is very slow. I am never going to get back to this play that quickly. But luckily, this controller has a cool feature in the fact that you can hold this button down and this becomes like a fast jog. So you could get there a lot quicker. Let's play this guy out. This is the play pause button here. So let's look in A, play that out. And I'll slow it down. And then we'll speed it back up. That's using the outside wheel. The only thing I don't like about the wheel here, in terms of how it controls speed, is it feels like as you come back towards center, you would increase your speed, but that's not how it works. So wherever the furthest value you leave off on the left is just where it is, then you have to bring it back up. So like as I'm playing this out and I'm slowing them down, then I want to speed up, right? I have to go back right. I can't just kind of let it go and it naturally pop back. Just kind of a weird kind of tactile thing. We can change cameras. we can mark an endpoint. Let's do that real quick. Let's looks like they're about to do a play right here. Let's get to a camera. There we go. So let's mark an endpoint there. And what's he doing? He's looking deep. Nobody has it. It looks like 3 might have had it. And we'll make an out point there. This button here should play that clip back, which it does. It took the camera that had marked the endpoint in. There's no way to update that without clicking with the mouse. So you do have to do some mouse clicking here. And I believe this is, when we hit that button, it's doing the full, yeah, it's doing the full wipe and play to output. So that's how you would play the last event out. Should do its replay here and go back to what's in preview. Yep, there we go. Some basic features. These buttons over here are blank. So you can program those maybe like a live and a go to now, whatever kind of fits your production. But for $100 to get started, I would probably remap this to maybe a fast jog, like to get to some places quicker. And then frame by frame here, free up this button so I don't have those tied together. Maybe figure out a different thing for speed. I don't know, maybe keep it speed. I'd have to do a couple shows to kind of figure it out, but again, fully customizable with inside of vMix, so you can go in there and tweak the shortcut file however you need, but that is the Shuttle Pro. So let's check out our next controller. Next up, we have the SanKeys XK12. Combination of metal and plastic here. We're actually now starting to get lights under our buttons. So we have activators that kind of can show us what's going on. Keys are all customizable. You can get printed keys like these, or they have the ones with the plastic lenses that you can pull off. The outside ring is similar in that it snaps, and then the inner ring is clicky. So you have some frame by frame tactile feel there. We have cameras 1 through 4, some 5 and 10 event buttons, in and out markings. This is speed up and down in percentages, a live button, and then a play button. Let's jump into vMix, check it out. So the first thing we're gonna do is go to our settings, shortcuts. We're gonna go to templates, import, and then we're gonna go XK12, and hit apply. We've got those and some activators now. And I'm just gonna go into my MIDI settings and make sure that these are all on. And that one's on, it's assigned to the right thing. Let's click OK. And let's go to our instant replay tab. All right, so right off the bat, I love the way the jog works. So the further you turn it to one side or the other, the faster it gets. So you can haul tail if you need to. So if I have to get back to that play, I can get back there very, very fast. We have a mark in button, and then he scrambles, deep throw, caught, and mark out. We have a live toggle here, so we can go see our live cameras. The mark in and out button, let's see if it'll mark in and out live as well. So let's do an in point there, and then an out point there, and then let's get out of live and see if it did it. Yep, so the in and out points will mark live or record it. Let's do the same thing with our +5 and +10 buttons. Let's do a -10 there. We were in the live mode. Let's see if that was a live play. Yep, that was the last one that just happened. And if we're not in the live mode, or if we're in the edit mode, let's do this play here. So let's do, takes it and he dives down. Let's do -5 from there. Yep, looks like it, looks like they're working independently, whether you're in live or in the recorded mode. What else do we have here? Oh, speed. Speed, I am speed. Let's hit play here on our play out. Let's play in our last recorded clip, and let's slow that guy down as he gets through the hole. So this works a little bit different in that every time you press the button, you're going down 10% or up 10%. So that's how the speed's controlled on this one. This play button looked like it played the last event to the output again. So let's check that out. Yeah, so it's playing last event to output. So it's doing the full trigger and all that nonsense. So you could change that button to a play pause button as well. But if I was using this, I'd probably use this as a solo one-man band machine. So 3 had that. I would just go -10 and then replay the last event. So he was ISO in that running back. Could slow it down, speed it back up, and that's it. Again, another really, really simple option, except this time you're getting the activators in the back to kind of give you some lights that show you what's going on. X-keys are not sexy. They look like they were designed to control a spaceship in the, I don't know, 50s maybe. But in my experience, these have been absolutely bulletproof. So they have a button smasher that smashes these buttons to infinity to show that they will last quite a long time. If you're needing something that is mission critical, these have never, ever, ever let me down. But again, you're sacrificing the sexiness of this sitting on the desk. But these come in at around 220 bucks. So double the price of your Shuttle Pro, and that is the XK12. All right, on to the next. All right, next we have the TYST RW580 Pro. It says it right there in Mandarin. I can read Mandarin. No, I can't. I'm just teasing. I just know what it is. It is metal and plastic. This is plastic here. The price point on these guys is about $550, so you can get them anywhere from $500 to $600. There's some JVC branded ones as well that go for a little more. These are becoming rare as they're moving to a different model, but a lot of folks bought these back in the day, so I thought we would still take a look at it. You have lights, so you have activators. You're now getting into a T-bar. The buttons are more like a switcher button, has a good tactile feel to it. So you are moving up into more of a professional looking controller here with a lot more features and some logic. So let's jump over into vMix and I'll show you how that works. In vMix, we'll go to settings and we're gonna import our template. So I'm gonna go to import, and this is the TYR yada, 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 apply. Yes, and activators moved in as well. Okay. Let's get into our instant replay. All right, so right off the bat, we have a record button, start and stop. We do not have a live button still, so if we want to get out of live, we got to hit live, go to now for that last replay look. We do have independent controls over our cameras though, so that's nice. The outside wheel is doing air quotes fast jog, but it seems to be the same speed maybe as the in one, maybe a little bit quicker. The out one's maybe a little slower. It's just a little reverse from what we've seen in like the X-keys template. This is still really slow. I mean, if I want to get somewhere, I'm getting nowhere in a hurry with this. So there is no shift button to make it faster, so that's something you may want to look at. Let's play this play out here. So I've got the quarterback about to snap the ball. I'm going to hit play. Where is play? Play's up the top. Play. Okay. Love the T-bar action. It's got a nice feel for control and speed. That's great. It's perfect. Let's do a little in and out. So let's mark an endpoint there and an out point there. If I want to play that back, we can do the play select it. Let's see if that's doing the whole wipe thing. It's not. So it's not doing the whole wipe thing. So that's just playing the selected file, but it's not playing it to the output. So can't do that. Play by ID. Let's put another clip in here and then we can maybe, oh my gosh, this is the most annoying thing in the world. Let's switch cameras here. Let's mark an endpoint there. And he's down. Let's mark an out point. So if I hit play by ID, is it going to pull up a window? Nope, it doesn't pull up a window. It's just playing the last clip. I bet you'd have to preset that, which kind of defeats the purpose. So you'd have to go down here and, you know, what is that? Let's do it out of order. 00210022. Then hit play. Okay. Yeah. Finish up. So let's now hit the play ID and let's see if it actually recalls what we've typed in. So, nope. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what play ID is doing in this template. So be aware of that. A/B controls. So if we gang these, we're moving both of them back. For an A, just A's working, B's working. That's really nice. Our -5. So that's taking it from the recorded. Let's go live. Let's let this play happen. Cameras, let's do 3. And then let's do -10 there. Yep, so it looks like it's working as it should. It's pulling from the live or the recorded when using our 10-second replay button there. This is the logic section that I was talking about. So select is where you would select your playlist. So you can go through here and select from 8 playlists. Copy, when you select copy, it changes this. So you can actually use the arrows here and go down and select like that last play we did. And I can say, hey, that highlighted one, I want you to copy it to 2. Now we're back in our playlist and you can see that it moved it over to 2 or copied it over to 2. Let's go back in here and let's put something in 8 so you can see that it's really happening. Copy to 8. Now we go to 8 and it's there. Well, I don't like it in 8. I want to move it out of 8. So I want to move that. So I have it selected and I want to move it to 7. So now it's gone out of 8 and now it's in 7. And then the last one we have is a macro section, which these 8 buttons can be assigned to whatever you like. The speed control of over here is a little wonky. So like if we go, oh my gosh, the first thing I'd have to change on this is how fast it's jogging back. It's driving me nuts. So if we go here and we hit play and then we, move through these, I don't like that the activator just flashes when I press the button, but it doesn't stay lit to show me the speed. Because the T-bar doesn't do that either, but at least at the T-bar I can see if I'm at 50, right? So this I'd probably ditch, maybe make something else in that section. But that's the TYST controller. Again, an older one, they've moved on to kind of a different model now, but it's similar to another one we're going to be reviewing, so I didn't want to do 2 from TYST. Again, for $500 to $600, depending on where you can find it, that's a pretty good option. All right, on to the next. Oh baby, the GOAT is here. This is my original prototyped XK64, more effing keys. So this is the guy that started it all, right? X keys were the ones that were like, yo, do you think there needs to be a controller for vMix replay? And I was like, yes. And then they sold one of their big ones in half and sent me this, and we kind of laid it out. But this guy has been with me since 2018. So I have made some fine adjustments, such as this speed tape to my handle to give me maximum control of speed because I'm flying so fast and I've pressed so many buttons I've wore paint off. But this one is a cut in half version, not a production model, and has worked flawlessly for me since 2018. So there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, look at this. Like this is how it came to me though. This is not how your like actual production one would be if you buy one from them. But you have activators, you have the cool inner click wheel, jog and shuttle, you've got your T-bar here. It's laid out pretty clearly, cams, events, playlist, go to now, live, some events in and out points there, your typical buttons and just play controls. AB function, AB. If you get the template and the new one, these have been moved over here. There's a couple of different versions of the configuration, so don't let that confuse you. At the end of the day, combination of metal and plastic build, the awesome reliability without any of the flash. Not sexy one bit. This is gonna bring someone in an Apollo mission home from the moon. It's not gonna wazzle dazzle a replay op that sits down at it, but it works, and it's worked really good for me. So let's dive into oh wait, I didn't tell you how much it costs. These are between $800 and $900, depending on when and where you get them. So moving on up, our last controller for reference was $5 to $6. This one's $8 to $9. So getting on up there in price. All right, they're also, let me finish this too. There's also ones that don't have the key sets that are just all these are buttons. So you can also get that, it's a bunch of different varieties of these. Now let's jump over to vMix and check it out. vMix actually has a template for this. There's a V3, which is the version we're gonna run. And then this was kind of the original OG. But V3 is what most people will have. So we'll go ahead, and I've already got that in there. I've made some changes just because it lines up to how my prototype one's laid out, but all the functions are the same. Let's go into our replay now and let's check it out. So we've got camera controls here. We can switch between our camera looks. We've got our live button here, our go to now button. The go to now button, this is the first controller that's had one on our list. This is something you could add to any controller, but this is the first one that has it out of the box. And all that means is that if you're sitting here live and you want to get to that replay that just happened, this guy's about to score, I can hit go to now. It takes me to the most recent place in time. It takes me out of live. So then I can just back that joker up and I'm ready to roll. All I gotta do is hit play and we're good to go. T-bar, this is kind of like a plastic T-bar, but it has a really, really smooth feel to it. I really like it a lot. In terms of functions, we can mark an in and out point there. Let's go back to there, mark an in point, and there's just touchdown, mark an out point. We can then either play all the events in this playlist, which is a new button, or we hit this play button here. So the way this is set up right now is this play button is doing the same thing as this play button's doing. I would probably change this to play the selected clip and then let this just be play controls. Same thing if like I did the play all. Like I like changing these to where these would go to the next clip or previous clip, not necessarily frame by frame, because you always have this inner wheel, which is really nice at frame by frame. So those are a couple of things I would probably change on the template. What else do we have? These change the event cameras. So if we go down, like you can move up and down through the clips with these buttons here. If we go to that, we could always turn on and off the cameras that are in this clip. So maybe we wanted to see the angle from 3. So that's nice that you can do that from the controller. That's a first in the controllers that we've seen. You can also move clips up and down in your order. So if you want to take a clip and move it and rearrange it, you could do that as well with those buttons. These copy clips to the playlist, but they don't get you to the playlist. So again, a great option. If you're looking at getting into more dedicated replay, the footprint on this one's about perfect. It's a little bit smaller than the TYST that we saw. And this is the XK64. You won't get the cool prototypey one, I'm sorry. But bulletproof as usual. Just, I have done terrible things to this and I'm not sorry for it because it's built like a tank. All right, on to the next one. All right, newest of the models here is the SanKeys R420. This one is priced at about $1,100 all metal. This has the nicest wheel out of any controller that we'll look at today. This wheel feels amazing. This feels like a traditional replay controller. Only gripe is that it doesn't really have a brake. So It is so smooth that you do want to be careful with it. But man, it feels great. The older model of the SanKeys that had only 4 camera controls, this was kind of like a clicky, like you pressed it down. This one is not. This one is metal. You can hear the overtone of the ting. And they added a speed knob here, so when you press the speed, once that's lit up, then it sets a different variable, so like a frame by frame and then like a fast jog, which is fantastic. On and off button, which is really fun. Yeah, for all you on-off button fans. It's not very thick, all USB, MIDI. I don't know what the LAN or the serial port does. I don't really care. I want it to work inside of vMix. All the cool activators and some logic functions over here as well. So let's jump in and take a look. We'll go to settings and we're just going to apply the shortcut file that they provided. I'm going to close this because I already have it all set up. Let's jump into replay and let's have a look. So we have a live button. We have a go to now, which takes us out. Go to now. I wonder who had a hand in giving them some suggestions on this one. Go to now is super important to me. I love that button so much. And again, that's smooth, just the frame by frame smoothness of how this feels. I can't, there's no way to describe how good this wheel feels in the video, but it feels buttery smooth. I also love this kind of LED volume, like they just repurposed this obviously, but a representation of like where the T-bar is super cool. So you kind of know at a glance where you're at. In and out buttons, play button, play all, will play everything in the list like normal. The speed in like the way that this is tuned or calibrated feels great. It's a great feeling controller. We can switch between our cameras. So we have full camera control of A and B, as well as control over what we're working on. This is that logic section that I was talking about. So in default, you can select between playlist 1 through 4, and then there is a shift button. So if you press the shift button, then you can go to the shifted numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go back to 1. Same thing for copy. So like if I go to this clip and I want to copy that clip that is selected to say 4, then we go over to 4 and it's there. Same thing with move. If I want to, you know, move that to shift 6, and then let's go look at 6. Let's go look at 6. There it is. Whew. I confused myself with how many buttons I had to press to do that. That was kind of confusing. All right, let's go back to playlist 1. Oh, this one has these forward and next buttons. So if I hit play all, I can actually push through clips. Love this. I love this so much. This is what I was talking about on the X keys. So if you have, you know, players like highlight that you're wanting to show, but it's like a little fat, you can just kind of push through everything. And you can even go backwards. So that's super cool. Let's get out of this guy. And then I'll show you the speed. So currently it's set up where it's going frame by frame. So let's go ahead and hit our go to now. And you'll see we have a cool frame by frame. But if we want to jump back and see what this guy's actually excited about, we can hit speed and get there real quick. So you can see real fast. It looks like he picked a guy, is what I'm guessing happened just by the way this is looking. Let's play that back. And yeah, deep ball. Yeah. Nope, he didn't pick a guy. He got excited for the quarterback overthrowing him. Fantastic. That's high school football for you. Look how awesome I did. I did nothing. The quarterback just chunked that ball away. All right, let's go to play last / play SEC. I guess that's selected. So let's do play last. All right, so that's playing the last clip. Is it doing the whole wipe thing? Yeah, it is. So play last is doing the full output, and then let's do play selected, which is a shifted feature. So shift play selected. and that's not doing, oh, it is doing the wipey thing. So those kind of are doing the same thing. So I guess you could, let's go up to a different clip here. Let's go to like this guy here, and let's go shift play selected. So it's just playing the selected to the output. That's kind of cool, because you do have a designated play button there. So that's kind of neat. You can use the shifted function to do play last or play selected to the output with the wipe. It's pretty cool. These buttons mark clips -10, and if we're alive, should do the same thing. Let's get to a better camera. Let's get out of live now. Let's take a look. Yep. So, oh, that one looks like it marked from a recorded section. So I want to do these guys chest bump in there. Let's put it in A. So let's do 5 seconds from when these guys chest bump. 5 seconds. So that's that clip there. And then let's go live. And let's see what just happened. Let's go -20 seconds there. And then let's get out of live and let's take a look. Yep, and that's his field goal. So those are working as they should out of the box. Again, a much larger footprint. This is the largest one that we've looked at so far. I have had the opportunity to put this one through its paces, and it's been fantastic. But again, a little on the pricey side, I think at $1,200, but you are getting a lot. This is a really, really quality controller for $1,200. But $1,200 is going to feel pretty cheap in comparison to our next one. Let's take a look. The final one. Oh, careful, careful, careful. All right. Whew. Costing a whopping $2,100, actually like $2,150, and a special order from B&H, if you want to get it from them, is the Slowmo Pro by JL Cooper. This looks the most like a professional replay controller, and the reason why is JL Cooper makes a lot of products for really high-end replay systems, and they actually make a lot of hardware to control a bunch of really high-end things. So they've priced this for that market. So don't beat up on them for the price. It is a all-metal built frame here. There's some cool tactile feel on the number pads here. T-bar and all that feels great. The setup on this, though, is a little clunky, and you need to do some prep beforehand. vMix has a document on how to set this up, as well as JL Cooper. So just make sure you do all the steps to kind of enable these COM ports so that this can talk to vMix. And then once you have that set up, vMix has a template built in. So let's take a look at how it kind of functions and operates inside of vMix. One of the things I will say is none of these lights light up. All you get is vMix is connected. So there's no activator function from this. It's just buttons. This outside ring does not snap back. It's one thing to note before we get into this. So you can see there's a little line right there where it doesn't go back. You have to go, but there is an indentation where you can feel like when it lands in the middle. And then this ring on the outside, or on the inside, sorry, the dial on the inside, it's got a metal feel to it. Pretty sure it's metal. And it has a good feel, but it doesn't click. It's smooth like the one from SanKeys. So it has that kind of feel just with a plastic collar on the outside of it. Okay, now let's jump into vMix and check it out. So we go into settings, shortcuts, and I'll show you the template here is this JL Cooper ES Slowmo Pro. So that's what we're going to use. I've already got everything loaded up in there. Let's go into our replay session. All right, so right off the bat, half of these buttons don't work. So all of these don't work, menu doesn't work, all of these do nothing. These work, so you can play forward, play backwards, stop. You have a fast forward and a fast back. This jog shuttle button doesn't, I can't figure out what it does. I don't think it does anything. It's not mapped to anything. This outside ring is not mapped to anything, just the internal ring. The frames 1 and +1 and -1 do work. They have a good plasticky clicky, I'm sure you can hear it. The W1 and W2 move forward and back through your clips. And then you do have a mark in and a mark out, which works let's go to this next play there. So mark in, and you got smothered, mark out. Then we could recue that, right? And we can hit play. We've got our nice tactile feel here. Feels pretty good. It's probably a little shallow, like, to be honest. Like, I wish it was calibrated a little bit where I had a little more room below 50, but speed feels okay. Let's stop that. What else do we got? Camera selections. We have 4 camera selections just for channel A. There's no channel B control. Again, just with the out-of-the-box templates. You can go in here and, you know, change things how you want, but just out of the box, that's how it's firing. Replay. So the replay button actually plays out the clip. So let's go to this guy here. If I hit replay, then that's going to fire out the selected clip, and that's doing the good old play event to output command. So if you just want to play a clip, you know, you're going to want to hit the play button. And if you want to play a clip to the output, then you hit your replay button. What else do we have here? These buttons here, manual time, store queue, last queue. So manual time, it says enter 1 or more events. So what this is like a play by ID thing. When you hit that, you can type in here though, which is kind of cool. So 0024, 0033, and then when I hit enter, it plays back the clips that I've put in the IDs for. So that's kind of cool. Like, it's a good use of this number pad, and it's something that none of the other controllers offer. So definitely a cool function, and I like the way these feel and sound. Store queue does nothing. Last queue does nothing. Next queue does nothing. So again, this is out of the box with the default template, pretty limited in terms of like actually what you're going to control and do. Footprint on it's pretty small. You can go in there and let's go to our shortcuts. Let's hit add. Let's hit find. So all of these buttons are available as MIDI notes. So you could go in there and build out a template that utilizes a lot more of these, but again, right out of the box, very, very basic control. And you probably have to, you know, do like some P-Touch labels or something along here to remember what all these buttons do. But that is the Slowmo Pro, just under 2,200 bucks. Again, it looks pretty cool. And it does have a really, really nice keypad, and the play by ID is pretty cool. You do want to see, when, just a tip, this vMix connected, like you got to see that when you set it up. So if you do get one of these, make sure that it does say vMix connected when you get it fired up. But that is the top dog on our list at, like I said, just under 2,200 bucks, the JL Cooper Slowmo Pro. Hopefully you have a better idea of how these controllers would fit into your workflow. Now, the best controller is the one you have or the one you can afford. A lot of these functions could be accomplished with a keyboard and mouse. The only thing I personally would probably find missing in that workflow is the jog and shuttle component. I've seen several folks online use DJ controllers for this, ones that have the little scratch pads, the wicka wicka wicka. You could use that to control your jog and shuttle and accompany that with your keyboard and mouse. That's what's great about vMix, and vMix Replay in particular, is that you're not boxed into one specific area. You have a lot of options with a lot of flexibility to fit your specific needs. At the beginning of the video, I promised I would not tell you which replay controller to pick, and I am not going to pick my favorite, but I'll tell you the one that I know is not going anywhere, and that's my SanKeys replay controller, the one that's sawed in half. That one's just near and dear to my heart and will not be going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on your next show, and go Dogs.